Let's talk about the power of collaboration. I am here with Edward Davis II, a fundraiser who helps raise funds for positive, powerful change for the people of Michigan and people everywhere. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins of Two Sisters Writing and Publishing, coming to you from Michigan Speaker of the House Joe Tate's annual golf outing. And Edward is here today to talk about the importance of having the finances to back any kind of collaborations to make positive change. Can you talk about that, Edward?
Yes. So I currently, in my current role, I am a vice president for fund development for a organization here in the city of Detroit, based headquartered here, called Strategic Community Partners. And what we do is we help smaller nonprofits, put together their organizational structure. Then we help them with scaling, developing programs, and also too with the fund development side, where I come in with the expertise. One of our specific programs we work on is it's called Detroit Urban Corps, and what we're doing is we are finding resources to help returning citizens get jobs, get training, get licensed, so that they can create an area of stability for their, not only themselves but also their families as well.
When you say returning citizens, please define that for people who don't know what it means.
Yeah. So folks that have served time in any capacity, whether it be locally, federally, anyone who has been sent to prison and had to go away for a while and get and serve whatever time, and they were returning back, trying to get their feet back, trying to get their families together, and those sorts of things.
Excellent. So what do you do specifically to help? So we have people representing business here, government. How do you serve as the person who brings it all together with the financing?
So most recently, I worked with, in this budget cycle with the state of Michigan. I applied to be a lobbyist in December of last year. And so I wanted to take my knowledge of working in the fundraising field for the last 15 years and work in the governmental sector, because I know that you can only go to foundations and individuals for so long before you have to go beyond that to get larger funding for larger projects. So I was able to work with folks in the state house and the state senate and talk about our programming that we were doing with Detroit Urban Corps and some other areas, and really look at what it takes in order for you to get that funding and how to convince them that this is something that underserved communities in Southeast Michigan need the support for, and why they should support. I didn't know that I was told that there's over 1,200 lobbyists in the state of Michigan. 13 of them are people of color, and I make the 13th one at 39 years old.
Oh, that's excellent. You are a trailblazer. That is wonderful.
Yes.
Good for you. Excellent. So tell me about being at an event like this where we have both business and government represented, and why you're such an important, integral part to bringing people together and making things happen.
Well, at golf tournaments, they always say that a lot of business is handled or conducted on a golf course. So my job here, for the most part, when I talked to Bobby and he invited me to be here, was to really talk to folks about what's going on in the communities. They've just come off the budget cycle that just passed the $81.7 billion budget, and so we're really talking about how are we going to bring those dollars from Lansing right into the communities that need to get them best, and get them there quickly so that people aren't waiting for things. People plan out their budgets long in advance, and sometimes those dollars, if anybody knows anything about government, those dollars can get held up with this thing and that thing, applications. But really figuring out how do you get those things right into the hands of those people in the community that really need it, and get boots on the ground to make sure you get those services met as well.
Mm-hmm. Excellent, Edward Davis. Oh my God. Okay.
You can just call me Eddie.
Eddie.
My nickname is Eddie.
Okay,
Yeah.
Eddie. You want to talk about cigars?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, well, Eddie is very popular here today because he's giving away free cigars. So all the golf carts just stop and, hey, that's free? Oh my goodness. So can you talk about why cigars go with a golf outing so well?
Yes. So, as a person who also golfs and also smokes cigars, I've been smoking cigars for the past 13 years. And so I wouldn't call myself an expert, but I do have, my palate has developed over the years. And when you're out on the golf course, guys are cracking jokes and men, women, the like. Everybody's out there trying to have a good time. And so to pass the time, sometimes, you want to, cut a cigar, light up one, smoke, talk about different things. And, that's when you get into the art of the business and really those, hey, next time we link up, let's talk about this. Or remember when we were on a golf course, we smoked such. Those are sorts of things. Cigars bring people together. They bring business together. They bring camaraderie. And they also allow for a relaxing atmosphere all around.
I love the way you said that. Excellent, excellent. So can you talk about the importance of our first African-American Speaker of the House, Joe Tate?
Yes. So I was introduced to Mr. Tate by Bobby Lawrence here, who actually is helping to put on this golf outing. And when I had heard about him, I had heard he was a former athlete like myself. And as a football player, he spent time in NFL as well. And so he's done a multitude of different things. And then with the government aspect, when you see him, you don't really think that he's done all these different things. He's like a gentle giant. But when you hear him talk, it's a totally different thing. And when it comes to politics, you have to be able to, from what I've learned over the course of my limited years been on this earth, but what I've learned is you have to really be able to have a presence about yourself, and people need to know about you before you open your mouth. And I think that with Speaker Tate being the first African American, it gives a voice to the voiceless, and it shows that people in underserved communities, like people of color, can be in those same rooms and be able to have the different power, or be able to meet the needs and have the ability to do the job that sometimes people of color haven't had the access to do.
Beautifully said. Eddie, thank you so much for joining me here today at this wonderful event. I hope you have fun. I hope you keep making people smile with your free cigars and trailblazing to bring the money to the table to help make a positive, powerful difference for people in Michigan and across the country. Oh, you're welcome.
And I appreciate all of you. I just think that, as a fundraiser, they used to call us, when I first got into the field 15 years ago, they said, you guys are glorified salesmen. And one of my first bosses said to me, don't get discouraged in this business of fundraising. People are going to tell you lots of different things, but always remember the first no is a hello.
Woo! Wow, mic drop. That was awesome. Thank you. I don't have to say anything else. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this and you have a positive, powerful day yourself.